Welcome to the Good Talk. I got John here with me.
Boom!
And we're going to be talking 10th edition, answering your questions, and really just going over everything we're finding out as our first forays into 10th edition.
Somehow, this is like my third or fourth game, and I'm still learning new niche cases.
Like the core things, too.
Core things that have just changed so drastically. Yeah. The rules of engagement in 10th is so much different than 9th edition. It's crazy to wrap your head around. You're not going to even need your hands on it, playing several games before you really get used to it.
Yeah, this is not an edition that you could theory hammer.
Yes.
You got to get models on the table. You got to start playing.
Yeah.
But we're having a lot of fun with it.
It's a ton of fun, and the fun is just getting started, Brian.
Absolutely. Well, why don't we start by going through some questions and see what you all are asking about with 10th edition.
Let's do it.
Sounds great. It's like, of course. What is the first button that I forgot where it lives?
It's in there somewhere.
It's definitely in there. It is. Wait, there it is.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Thank you, Pandemic Painting. Brian, what's your opinion on battleshock tests as the Tyranid angle of attack? Is battleshock valid or overhyped?
Oh man, battleshock is my favorite new part of 10th edition. Yeah. You know, leadership and leadership tests in general have been anemic and meaningless for most of the game, and the way you lost models kind of sucked.
Yeah.
It wasn't interesting.
Yeah.
Right? Like, oh, they killed part of your squad. I don't know, but your squad's dead. You know, that was kind of sad.
Right.
So battleshock is such a crucial part of this game. It is win or lose. If you don't know how to play that phase correctly, you don't account for it, you will lose.
Yes. It's easily, and we're talking about Tyranids. Tyranids, it can be at least 11-point swing.
Masters of this phase, too.
Masters, because they're going to give you modifiers. Space Marines are failing this. You had a big failure when I did Shadows in the War.
I failed like 4 or 5 battleshock tests this game.
Craziness. And the big squad of Terminators.
One of them cost me, what did we say, something like 11, 16 points, something like this?
Insane, right?
Yeah.
So if used correctly, it's gonna be a big deal. If you're not accounting for it, getting multiple models on objectives, or multiple units, I should say, it could cost you.
And you're going to build your army towards it a lot of times too, right? Because you have units that cause battleshock tests. You know, the Terminators do it.
On demand.
Your Death Leaper does it.
Your Pyro guys.
Totally right.
Yeah.
And there's units that reduce leadership. Like
modifiers.
Like your Death Leaper, the Nero Tyrant.
Yeah.
So it's a big thing to design around, to play around. You got to use it at clutch moments, but also you can be defensive with it, right? Like certain chaplains on foot give you an auto pass.
Yep.
But they give you an auto pass at a particular phase. So you have to be careful. You still might fail at the moment you need it.
Yeah.
But you know, it's really crucial. I love the design space here. Now all of a sudden they could give flavor to Tyranids with this rule, and it's meaningful. Whereas before, not so much, right?
We're seeing things like Reavers too, getting a breath of fresh air because they have modifiers, or they can do it on demand.
Yeah, and they cause it. They were supposed to always have these terror tactics, right? That was like a thing, and now that's meaningful. And there's whole armies like, what is it, the Night Lords, or we're supposed to be about that historically, and they couldn't make it matter a lot. Now I'm excited to see where that kind of goes.
Now this, cheap unit that infantry hasn't been used before gets thrown into a squad, 4 times their cost. It takes away all their OC and then controls the point. Amazing.
I genuinely think this is one of the biggest changes in the game because, you have units, they change the rules, this and that. That's really just all surface level. But Battleshock fundamentally changes a core aspect of the game and how you score and how the game works. And so it's a design space that they can play in and create whole new kinds of interactions and rules that we haven't seen. So I think it's great. Not overhyped. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's good. It's a fun mechanic. I like it a lot. Even the brave Space Marines can fail it. So
all the time.
I think you're going to see it a lot in these games.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Pandemic Painting. Thank you, Mr. Adder. Brian!
So excited to be here.
Yes.
I'm here for many more days.
Yes. It's going to be super fun. We're just getting the games in with Brian. It's going to be amazing. You're playing like every day, huh?
Yeah. While I'm here, might as well, right?
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Mr. Adder. Thank you, Chris. Great to see Brian again. Asked Bridger Adrian, but John Bryan, thoughts on the non-Codex complement chapters? Blood Angels, Space Wolves, Dark Angels, Black Templar. Is there clear winners?
I mean, not yet. They haven't even shown these rules yet.
I don't think they've shown these rules,
But we can
wildly speculate.
Out of what they've previewed, is there one that really stuck out to you? I think there was one that stuck out to me.
I'm not a master of what has been released yet.
Right. We're in a tricky situation because we see things that you don't, and so then we don't need to see the previews. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but we have to distinguish between the two.
Yeah.
We live in multiple timelines.
I can tell you that Space Wolves seem really fun to play. Out of all of these 4, I will have the most joy playing Space Wolves. They're so cool.
Isn't that true always?
That is true.
That is true.
Always.
But no, you were a Blood Angels player before.
Yes.
So this is a change.
It is a huge change, and I'm excited to maybe see where characters go, where they go with the flavor, where are these chapter-specific units going to go, the Sanguinary Guard, the Sanguinor, all these awesome characters, the Death Company.
My instinct is the Dark Angels are the strongest because of the Lion, and even what's been previewed, I think that's big stuff, and the Dark Angels were the strongest for a while now.
Yeah, Dark Angels were coming off of 9th pretty hot.
Yeah, and I think they're still strong. I am very excited for the Templars, though. That's the one out of these that I'd say I'm the most excited for.
Yeah, then for me, that's the wild card, because I don't know if it's good or not. I don't know. We would have to play, we could just be saying these.
I think we're clearly saying the Blood Angels are the least interesting. Isn't that sad? That is kind of what we're saying here. And we're both Blood Angels players.
I know. We have a good collection.
We have a good collection. Yeah. My Hellblasters are finally going to see the table. My Blood Angels Hellblasters.
If it wasn't for the Lion, Blood Angels might step over Dark Angels just in coolness factor.
Yeah.
But boy, oh boy,
the Lion's pretty cool.
I would be hard pressed to say that all these things don't have exciting stuff
Agreed.
about them.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Jay. What terrain adjustments would you make versus Titans?
Yeah, so versus towering Titans, right? Like Imperial Knights. They can currently, they don't get obscuring to or from them. So they can shoot everything
so there's an easy
obscuring.
answer to this.
Yeah.
True line of sight blocking.
Yes.
You need actual things that actually block line of sight so that when you're tucked into that L shapes are the best, right? When you're tucked in that L, even though they're tall, they actually cannot see you.
Yeah. And board up your bottom floor windows.
Yeah.
And that's an amazing way to just handle that easy. I think it's how the game should be played against Knights. Of course, we still have to see the damage output of these Knights. Do they really need that big of a buff?
Yeah.
Or is GW intending for you to be able to hide behind these physically obscuring ruins?
I think in the board we just played on today, because we're counting the ground floor, like all the things we wanted to hide, we could hide.
Yeah.
But the Knights would have been able to more often see like my Land Raider and things, and the kinds of targets that they should be able to shoot at.
They move so fast, you're going to be able to get a beat on something.
Yeah.
Right?
They are going to have better line of sight, but as long as you have line of true LOS blocking, you're all right.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the only change that needs to be considered.
You should always have had that.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Yeah, you need a place to hide at least a few select very valuable things. You don't want this Knight sniping your Farseer from across the board because it stuck out a little bit. Right?
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jay. Thanks, Sam H. I've eaten a lot of cereal in my time, and your way is definitely the best way, Adrian. Disagree.
No.
Blatantly disagree.
Listen, Adrian's far enough away that he didn't hear that. He's way over there.
Nope.
He just appeared over the monitor.
What
did he say? Sorry, for me?
No. He said...
It should never be repeated?
Yeah, it shouldn't be. It almost broke us entirely yesterday. He basically said, you take the cereal out that's delicious and good and crunchy, and then you put milk in, and then wait until it's soggy and gross, and then that's when you eat it.
No.
Oh my gosh. I was ready to
Those are his words.
I was actually ready to agree with Adrian until I heard that last part.
Yeah.
I'm actually a proponent of milk before cereal, but I have it for the opposite reason of it should be crunchy always.
Yeah, should be crunchy always.
So you have a bowl of milk, and then you slowly add a layer of cereal every time you take, you finish that layer.
That's essentially what I said.
Always fresh.
I said you can put the milk in, but as long as you put the milk in small layers, or small bowls, and then eat it really fast.
Yeah.
It's effectively the same. The reason I don't do it your way is splashing.
Oh, splash.
And I'm not into the
so
splashy.
little, it depends on your cereal.
Yeah.
Like if you're
you could
doing
have splashy cereal.
If you're doing the Wheaties, oh man, that's gonna splash everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
But flakes, you're fine.
All right.
Adrian also lets his ice cream defrost.
He did mention that, and we let him have a slide on that because we were so shocked by the cereal. But trust me, I heard it, and I was not pleased.
Well, the actual question, what GSC units are you most excited about for 10th?
Whatever's the crunchiest. What's the...
Oh, true. They get crunchier as they become more Tyranid-like.
Yeah.
So that opens the doors to a lot of things.
What is the GSC unit that you generally think is exciting, that like you always wait to see its new rules?
That's the Aberrant, of course. It's Muscle City, Muscle Beach.
Yeah,
100%.
Aberrants are super cool, aren't they?
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love the Jackals.
I wondered.
So I'm curious to see how Jackals go because I
yeah.
love the models.
Great aesthetic.
Great look. Yeah, that's the one I'm always looking out for.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll get... I'm assuming all these things can come back. Is that the overarching rule for GSC? I actually haven't read much about it.
I don't know.
Like they come back.
I read it,
after?
but it was in the torrent of things I read, so I don't remember.
I don't know.
We'll have to see. We'll be playing it soon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Sam. Thanks, Camden Jansen. Always good to see Brian. I was your second opponent at SoCal Open.
Ooh.
Hey.
Do you think that blocking first floor windows will make indirect uncounterable?
Blocking first floor windows.
No.
Indirect uncounterable.
Because I think he's trying to say, I guess he tucks the indirect right into the building.
So they
you
won't
can never
interact
see
with
it.
anything. Yeah.
I think even without that, the indirect, you should assume you can never really shoot it. So indirect is already uncounterable, let's say. That's kind of the point of it.
If it's not distance, it's going to be line of sight.
Yeah, so it's already uncounterable. The thing it's supposed to be is kind of slightly unworth it for its cost. Mm-hmm. They have to balance that, right? Like how much does it really do against how much you pay for it?
Right. It really should be a unit that helps dig things out off of points. Things that it's not going to do a ton of damage, but it's going to impact,
and its
primary.
impact should be felt over a game, not
right,
over
not
a turn.
Immediately, right? Yeah, I agree.
Anytime you're wiping squads in a single turn, you've probably made it too strong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but GW has been on the wrong side of this every edition, right? At least at some point.
They've gotten it to pretty good places
In the
after many iterations.
The end of 9th.
Yes.
I think we're gonna have to see where it sits now. Even in the previews they've shown,
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are nervous that it's too good.
Yes.
And that's our current opinion.
So yeah, GW has shown things like D cannons on their streams and the data sheets.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, it's strong.
Yeah, but even not, they even showed some circumstance with the guard where it's like, okay, it's -1 to hit.
Yes, in that same
but it's
game.
heavy.
Right. And so it stands still. It hits on 4s. It's going to be +1 for heavy, and then it's going to get an order for another +1, immediately hitting on 2s.
Yeah.
It's
and
crazy.
then now you have this other problem where it's like, oh, but they get cover. But they have ignore cover.
Right.
So a lot of the times I think it might be too good. So we're going to have to, it comes down to points and a few other things, but generally you want indirect to be a very support thing. We don't want it to be a mainline way of shooting. And if they ever make it too strong, we're all going to scream at GW until they change it.
Yeah, we shouldn't expect things to be perfect. There's going to be a big beta test. Public beta tests in these.
But there's factions like Guard which are about it.
Yeah.
And so you can't nerf it to the ground for them.
Right, because it's their one. It's kind of like an identity.
It's their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gotta be careful.
Tricky problem.
Yeah. Don't knock it till you try it, but still, let's tread carefully.
Yeah.
Thanks, Camden. Thanks, Cheddar Goblin. Came in late. I was promised sweaters. I see no sweater. This is madness. Unsubbed. Totally kidding. Welcome back, Brian.
You're saving the sweaters.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this. I'm here for a lot of days.
Yeah.
Sweaters take a lot of space in suitcases. So I could have got a second suitcase just for sweaters.
Yeah.
But you got to draw the line. So I had a sweater. I was holding it this morning. I was like, should I put it on? And I was like, I don't have enough sweaters for every day. And I was like, is this the day I do another sweater? Should I space it out?
Look, we still have some old sweaters in the closet that definitely haven't been washed since you've been here last.
Right.
But you're welcome to them.
There was an ultramarine sweater I could wear.
Yes.
But I was playing salamanders today. It just didn't feel right.
That's true.
So there are more sweaters to come.
Did you think when you put on a sweater the first time you started filming that this would be the shtick that you get associated with?
It happened so fast. Like within the first 20 hours or so of the video being posted, it was more about sweaters and Warhammer. And it never went back.
Always has been.
Thanks so much, Cheddar Goblin. Thank you, Nick. How do you feel about character blobs, e.g. 9 intercessors, 1 captain, 1 lieutenant, 1 apothecary, in a rhino versus spreading characters out between multiple squads?
Is this legal? I think it is, right? Apothecary can definitely mix with a captain. Can a lieutenant mix with a captain
Yes.
in the same squad? Oh, okay. Can you fit that in a rhino?
You might not be able to fit that in a rhino. I don't know what the rhino's capacity is, but
I assume it's 12.
then yes.
Then that's 12.
Or maybe 10. I don't know.
Anyways, let's assume you can.
Yeah.
But in my limited experience right now, you want to have a couple squads that are big with some characters, and you want them to have a singular purpose.
Yes.
And one of the things I'm finding is often you'll have a character, and the units he goes into, it doesn't really work. Like today, I had the Flamer Aggressors, and I had the Apothecary Biologists.
Yeah.
Now he has 2 abilities. One of them is like sustained hits, which you can't use with Flamers, right? Because they auto-hit.
You gotta hit.
And the other one is a cool OC trick that he does.
Yeah.
So it's like you're only getting half of his buff there. And you'll find there's a lot of situations like that where you're just not getting that much out of it.
Yeah, in this edition specifically, these indexes, Space Marines being a prime example, there's going to be a tool for every problem, and very rarely will you have a character that you want with that tool, right? Like it's a multiplier. You put it in. Why would you? I don't know.
I haven't felt the need for Death Stars yet, only
Yeah.
because often, like for instance, this example, this is intercessors. Buffing intercessors, who cares? It's not worth it.
Yeah.
So
it's multiplier on a low.
And the only
alpha
units
model.
that you can really pile a bunch of things into aren't worth it.
Yeah.
No, Terminator, there's no, for instance,
There's
no
no
Terminator
apothecary.
apothecary.
Yeah.
Right? Is there even a Terminator Lieutenant? Maybe there is, but I don't own any. None of us own any across all of our Space Marine armies. So if there is, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's a good consideration, but like Brian said, I don't think there's
You
huge
also
Death
have to be
Stars.
careful spamming characters for Assassinate.
Yes.
And in this case, there's 3 characters in one squad? This is worth a lot of Assassinate points.
Yeah.
I think that's actually the main point, is the assassinate. Like, that's
It's
a
a
scary, that would be a tasty.
It's a tasty squad, yeah.
Tasty little rhino right there.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Nick. Thank you, Michael Cody, Boy Howdy, Rudy P, Dark Angel Martin. It's amazing to see those names again.
Yeah, so many great people coming back. I think a new edition does that.
Yeah, it's a great time to start playing again. New rules, everyone's going to be fresh, everyone's going to be new, and you're going to be learning the game with everyone else. Super excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome, and a bunch of new members. If you're a new member, come hang out on our Discord and see us on Tuesday nights where we do members only game.
Yeah, you got to join
Welcome.
that Discord.
You also have like 1,000+ hours of 9th edition content that I know you're just totally wanting to watch
No,
right
but
now.
even if you're not interested in the rules, some of the games are like really unique and interesting, and we do things that are just fun games, and it's a fun hang. So great shows.
Yeah, we're going to
Definitely.
have a members only game on Tuesday evening. So check that out.
Awesome. Thanks again, Michael. Thank you, Arata. What is the biggest surprise through your first few 10th games? What's the hardest to remember?
Ooh.
Okay. I know my surprise. What do you got?
The biggest surprise is just the constant threat of Overwatch.
Ooh.
That's the most
a good one.
impactful in my mind. I remember literally the first movement phase I had of 10th. It was Bridger moving up, and I just overwatched him with G cannons, and it was amazing. It was glorious. It was great.
And everyone was sad
And
after
then
it.
everyone was sad. I was ecstatic. Hardest to remember, you're going to have to keep reminding yourself. Overwatch. Your turn, their turn.
Things you can do in different phases.
Craziness, yeah. What about you, Brian?
For me, it was that we talked about this yesterday a little bit, the rock, paper, scissors of, vehicles against vehicle killing and then infantry and infantry
There's
killing.
such a variety of toughness now that you really have to pick and choose your weapons.
They gave toughness, they gave wounds, and they gave armor saves to these vehicles often, right? And so they genuinely are tough. And they reduce the number of shots a lot of things have. So it's like, killing them's not a joke.
Yeah.
So in my first game with the White Scars, I totally took that for granted. And I was like, whoa, did not expect that. That was did not line up with my expectations.
Bolters into any type of vehicle going to be suboptimal to the max.
Totally right. So That was big for me, and I really like it, by the way. So I should say I'm a big fan, but very surprised about that. Hardest thing to remember, and we saw it in this game, was that there's a lot of strats that can only be used in particular phases.
Yeah.
That's like, we both learned that. I did not.
I was aware that concept existed, but I wasn't memorizing. Like, this can be used only in your opponent's fight phase, not even your fight phase.
It just seems so natural that, like, oh, I have a defensive ability. I can use it whenever I take damage.
It's defense against shooting. I should be able to use it when I'm being shot.
Right.
But it's not, and it's really crucial to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks so
Good
much.
question. Good question.
Great question. Thank you. Blank. Hey, Titans. Do you all think demon infantry units will get 20-man squad back?
I have an opinion on this, and I haven't read the rules, so it's not going to influence.
Ooh, it's a
There's no truth.
non-biased. There's no truth.
There's no truth in it. So I'll tell you this. When I talked to some people at GW when they did the last Demons Codex, one of the things they really said was they really wanted demons to be like, each demon is its own eldritch horror, kind of like its own terrifying thing. Whereas before they were becoming like this mass, like their guardsmen, like, just mow them down.
Yeah.
And they really wanted each to become quite a beast unto themselves. And that really resonated with me and with a lot of the other people that they were talking to.
It's a rare and horrific thing to have a demon pop up like right in front of you.
They're not supposed to be chumps. They're supposed to be terrifying.
Yeah. They're literally splinters of a god.
Yeah, I love that. And so for me, I really almost would love them to continue investing in that and not make it a horde army, but actually more of an elite army. Where each demon is terrifying and is quite powerful, and so I hope not. And that's if they keep that design philosophy going, then I don't think they'll go back to the sword.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, Brian. But I think demons is a huge codex. I hope there is an identity across one of the gods that is a little more swarmy. Maybe that's not that troop, like a plague. What is it, like
plague bear?
Plague bear or a horror. Hope maybe it's a swarm-esque type of model where you can kind of have a lot of them.
I could see lots of brims.
A lot of brims?
That's the only one I can see lots of. Lots of little flickering flames, but that's it. They're so cute.
Maybe nurglings, yeah. Super cool.
Thanks so much, Blank. And possibly the last one. Thank you, Dave. Dave, want to thank you all for so much wonderful content over so many years. Have missed your wisdom, Brian. AdMech is a 4+ battle strength, BS strength army. Will we become cheap?
Well, we haven't seen a lot of AdMech yet. And the one thing about AdMech that I think always is a saving grace of it is these days it actually, has a lot of data sheets. And those data sheets have a wide range. They have real combat units, short range shooting, long range shooting, high volume shooting, high value shooting, right? It's like a Space Marine Codex in the sense that it's got everything. And so even if a few data sheets don't work, there's usually some meat in there that's really working, and they've got a really cool design space that they've figured out over the last couple editions. And unfortunately, they spiked the army up and then back down and then up and then back down. So I don't have great confidence that they're going to nail it this time because they've struggled to find that identity. Right? Anytime you got an army that's supposed to be super quality shooting, but also super cheap models, spamming quality shooting is kind of a problem.
Yeah.
So it's a tough design challenge, and we're going to see what they do. Historically, though, this 4+ BS, we've started to see that going away in even the last edition, where Tau, Guard, AdMech were all supposed to be 4 BS. They weren't. Yeah. How much of the army was hitting on 2s and 3s and re-rolling this and that? And so they're making armies more reliable across the board. Like, give me an army that actually is truly doing 4s without full re-rolls or something. There's not a lot out there. So I think you're going to have, they're going to be fairly reliable when they do things.
Yeah. Yeah, and to speak to that, I mean, I don't know how cheap they'll become, but how many heavy weapons do you think AdMech will get, right? Like, they're going to be standing still and shooting. You're immediately going to get, 3 up, hitting on 3s, easy.
I think so, yeah. We'll have to see, but that's an army I'm excited to play, and it's one of the ones that I will be playing during our preview period. So I'm a huge, huge fan of it, so can't wait to get into it.
Yeah, as soon as they release that index for AdMech, I think you're just going to throw them on the table.
Yeah.
I think that's how it's going to be for every index.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's all we have for today, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, at the moment I said that, just one moment.
Okay, we'll read the one more.
Thank you, Breakdown. Do you think my 2,000 points of crew will be viable in 10th?
Yes. Well, you know.
I don't want to comment on this because I actually know too much.
Not as viable as it has been in the past.
Oh.
Probably.
Tell me why.
6th edition, was it? 7th
Oh,
edition?
okay. You're going way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about that. There we go.
Where I wonder if they'll have precision. That's actually very
Precision? Why?
because snipers. I actually haven't read. I don't.
Crude are not snipers.
They have been in the past.
The one named crude, maybe.
No, they've definitely had snipers on all of their rifles before.
No.
I'm pretty sure.
When?
I'm pretty sure.
No.
Anyways,
On crew rifles?
maybe some of the characters. You got some hounds there. I don't know. I don't even know if you can make 2,000 points out of crew anymore.
There's been editions where you couldn't make legal armies because you couldn't make HQs.
Yeah.
They were like elite choices.
Oh, I wonder if their battle line. Can you only take 3?
Yeah, I think one of these days we're gonna get more crude. We've already seen with the kill teams that they're supporting crude. They're in it for the long haul with crude.
Yeah.
Right. And so I really do hope we get more. Obviously the crude hounds models. Well, they did the new crude hound in the kill team, right, which is much better. And then you've got the crude hawks are still old. I'm super sad that they long time ago, I guess, got rid of the riders.
They
got rid of all of it.
Are those the Krutoks? Where are the Krutoks?
The Krutoks are the ones on like the gorilla-like crudes.
Right, and they had the little gun on top.
The little
right?
gun. But there was the bigger ones.
What?
And then there was the big one. The Narlock riders.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, the Narlock riders.
Right.
But anyways, I do hope they do more. But it probably won't be viable as a 2,000 point in the sense that they've never successfully done that. They don't have full army rules, and often they don't count Kroot as Tau. So a lot of like strats don't work and things like that.
A lot of army rules don't work.
Yeah, exactly right. So I doubt it'll be great, but I think we can just hope for it to be playable.
Yeah.
I want it as much as you want it.
Still have the models ready. It's going to be like 500 points that you probably can bring.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thanks, Andy B.
Oh, no.
What do you think Votan's identity is in 10th now that they aren't super killy and elite?
Ooh, good question. I don't think they were ever meant to be elite. That's just where the points had to land, given how strong they were in 9th. And are they not super killy? I don't know.
I don't think we know that.
I don't think we know that. It's still up in the air, right? I think that they're dwarves.
They're supposed to be a mid-board shooting army, mid-range shooting army.
Right.
Isn't that what they're supposed to be?
I think so. They're dwarvy, right? They're going to be slow, consistent powerhouses that are close range.
Yeah. Mid to close range shooting. Kind of slow, but also with some select durability.
That's where you want to be, I think. I think you want your huge anvil units that sit on points and never budge. You're going to want big hulking vehicles.
Yeah.
Land fortress, hello. And then big guns with big strength.
Yeah.
And then short range guns with a lot of shots.
Yeah, you want to be out there holding grudges.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do.
Easy. So good. I want to play Votan. We'll have to see who gets to it first.
That's one of the collections that we're going to have to grow the most coming up.
Right, because it's less elite now, right?
Yeah, right.
Thank you, Sean. Everybody
This is how we get to 11 p.m.
Yeah, it's just like one. Everyone keeps saying shooting edition. Am I in trouble with World Eaters?
Look, there has to be some type of mitigation, right? For World Eaters, you're going to... In previous editions, you're moving when getting shot at, things like that. You're going to use...
And that worked well.
It worked well, right? You're
and transports are better now.
I was just going to say, transports, amazing.
I stole your
thunder. Rhinos are going to be amazing.
I agree.
You're going to have a lot of transports, and they can only get through so many. You're going to move. You're going to disembark. It's going to be great. It's going to be fun.
The thing I'm most sad about is, I'm building my own World Eaters. And the centerpiece I have it at my house. The centerpiece I always cared about was the Khitan Ravager.
Whoa!
And they killed that. That model's out now.
I've never heard that word in my life.
The Khitan, it's the like Chaos Knight thing with the. You haven't seen it?
The
Khitan Ravager?
What?
Oh, wow.
I
It's
can't
awesome.
picture this.
It was like long before they had Chaos Knights. It was like a giant knight with like corn axes.
It's not the Lord of Skulls.
No, but think of like what a Lord of Skulls would be if he wasn't derpy.
With or without wheels?
No wheels. He's got feet.
Oh.
And giant axes. And it's awesome. It's actually one of the coolest things you can add to a corn army.
He's just making this up, right, Chad?
If I did, then my imagination is awesome.
Amazing.
But no, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine.
Liam's coming to play World Eaters.
Yeah, I mean,
So
he's going
let's
to
check it out.
show us how it's done. You know,
right.
You're going to be fighting for objectives just like anything else. If anything, it helps you focus on the game more. And it's not like you have no shooting, right? You're going to have pistols. And
We were considering if Liam's first game with his World Eater should be against my Tau. Just so we see. Let's take all melee against all shooting.
my
See if it's a
goodness.
shooting edition. We're not going to do that, by the
I
way.
just hear Adrian giggling in the back.
What a mean way to be like, hi, I'm Brian.
Nice to meet me. Nice to meet you. Here's my Tau.
Yeah, in your face.
Yeah.
Well, not in
Burst
your
cannon,
face,
go Burr.
from far away.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks, Jay. Should I expect to bring lots of shooting with orcs?
I don't think we know that yet.
I don't think we do, but shooting edition, right? You're going to want shooting in whatever ways you think is most efficient. Yeah, I'm excited for orcs. I think they're going to be high toughness, right? Because that's what they were before.
Yeah.
T5.
They can really push that.
And yeah, I think higher data sheet stats far outweigh, a good save.
Yeah. I'm really interested how this comes out. Obviously, Adrian's really excited to get them on the table. So it's one of the armies we're going to be playing a lot in the near future.
And I say this every time Adrian gets an orc question. Like, it's like a Space Marine Codex.
It's huge.
It's so huge. Something has to be good.
There's like 2 of everything.
Right.
There's duplicates, and now especially with the Beast Snaggers, they've literally started duplicating
goodness.
because they've started primarisifying orcs, right? So
Jeez.
it's rough.
Yeah. You're gonna have fun.
Yeah, it's orcs.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's
Thanks,
more.
Jay. Skeletor 100. What faction seems the most interesting going into 10th?
Yeah. I know you were intrigued about Guard. I, of course, diehard Elf. Yeah, I like elves. I'm excited for Jukari, Eldari, Harlequins, you name it. I want to move fast, die hard, and do a lot of damage.
Yeah, Eldar is always cool. So I'm excited for Guard mostly because I love the new model range.
Yeah.
And it feels like they're leaning towards a playstyle that feels Guard. So I'm into that. I like armies that play the way they're supposed to feel, like they got that right. So I am into that. I'm really excited. I'll be honest. I'm really excited to put the Tau on the table as well.
Yeah, Tau is very cool.
I think it could be cool.
Yeah. Very cool.
Is that it?
No.
Oh, that's not. How could it ever?
No.
Skeletor, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Neil Adams, are standalone Quinn armies going to be playable? Blink once for yes, twice for no.
Okay, this is me holding my eyes open. We can't tell you anything about Harlequins. We don't know anything.
We know nothing. We can say nothing. They're beautiful models.
Yeah, they're still going to be flipping and dancing. A lot of times you're still going to suffer and painting the motley on them.
Yeah.
Those things are true.
Yeah. It's never going to be easier to paint checkers.
They are in the game.
Okay, that's one way of putting it.
And thank you, Yadigan. I'm considering starting a Custody army since I want a Vindicar for my guard and figured, another army for Vindicar.
That's one way to make decisions.
How do you feel about agents?
I think agents are cool.
Yeah, I think they're cool. I think they seem very playable, but not auto-take.
That is a good way to put that.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is that sweet spot.
And I think it's a great way to. I haven't read even close to all the rules, but I'm sure it's a great way to shore up some things that
like a
the
gap.
army is lacking. Right? Custodies being a good one, where their model line isn't huge. So I'm sure every rule isn't going to be covered. Hopefully, you can take an agent to cover that gap.
Yeah, I agree. We've been dusting them off here. We reach into the back of the shelf.
Yeah.
We found them. We've picking them out.
It's not just the assassins, though. It's like the Inquisitors.
Yeah, they've expanded their range a lot.
It's everything. It's all the new stuff, too.
I remember back in mid 8th edition, there was like a lot of secret tech You know, you got like Great Facts or something,
goodness.
And then for a little while it was an auto include. Yeah. But I think they're getting them into a sweet spot where it's going to be really cool. I hope they're great.
I really hope so.
Yeah.
They're just who doesn't want a flavorful character?
Yeah, it's a great addition.
Yeah, it's great.
Thank you, Toy Painter. Do you think 5 or 10-man Marine squads will be better for 10?
Yes.
Oh. I think it depends on the role. Not every.
Such a broad, like, of all the units and all the codexes, 5 or 10.
Right, not every unit can go up to 10.
But let's assume, if you have the choice.
I
think there's an easy call here.
You think so?
You need both.
Oh, yeah, you need a little bit of both.
So you have to have both. You're taking a 10-man squad for one reason.
Yes.
A character. Almost always.
Yeah, or like it's an anvil unit, right?
Yeah, but you're basically you want strat. You want one strat to apply to 10 people, or you want a character buff to apply to 10 people.
10 people, yeah.
And often it's both.
You want the
things.
multiplier to be as
big as possible, right? So it's either a durable unit or it's a combat unit. Almost always it's one of those two things, right?
Yeah.
Then you need the five-man to be throwaways.
Yeah, MSU. There's also a lot of like weapon options. Like you're seeing GW lean towards whatever is in the kit is how you're going to build your squads. And so if you're building a kit for 5 guys, you get all the weapons. You go to 10. Now those guys don't get the same weapons, right? You only get the same amount of special weapons as those 5.
That's an interesting piece of tech that you're talking about there, but yeah, it absolutely is the case.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things you want only 5, never 10.
Lots and lots of screening is going to be just as important or more important this edition than ever any edition. You need units to screen, and then you need units in places to do secondaries. And often those units will die after they do those secondaries, and you got 5 turns to play.
Yeah.
So you definitely need throwaways.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, you're especially if you're trying to draw cards, you need to be ready for anything. You got guys in deep strike ready to go. You got guys infiltrating up the board ready to go. Little squads to throw on objectives ready to go.
Yeah.
You need all the options if you're going to score high here.
Yeah, you need both.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good question.
I think that's it, y'all.
We did it.
We did it, maybe.
Okay, well, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support and coming out and watching these games. We have so much more to come in the 10 days of 10th. So we'll be back again on Monday.
That's right.
At 12 noon Pacific time with 2 new indexes.
Yes.
Can't tell you which ones.
We don't even know.
I actually don't remember.
Don't know.
I think I remember one of them. But we'll be back at 12 with 2 new indexes and then 6 p.m. Pacific time with another 2. So 4 indexes.
Double header. It's going to be fun. 4 new indexes, 2 games. It's going to be hard to miss us. We're going to be on
when are you
a
playing?
long time.
What
I
time?
think I'm playing in the evening, which
So
is
you're
going
playing
to be
at 6. I'm playing at 12.
Okay, so we're not playing.
It's not you and me.
But it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. Come check it out. See all the different factions. See how they play. See all the reveals.
Yes.
We'll be there first. So I guess with that, we'll see you all on the tabletop.
Bye.